Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In today's video we're having a look at the latest test build of the Nintendo 64 core for the MiSTer FPGA, and this game over here is called Space Dynamite. I know I knew nothing of this game up until I saw it in a list, and I thought, let me press the button and see what it's like. And to my surprise, it's a fighter. By all means, it's not a great fighter, but I've definitely played fighters that are worse than this. This, in the jankiest kind of way, is definitely fun. Now, it's not something I want to be revisiting or playing, but it's a kind of game, you know, when you had your buddies around and, you know, you're in school and your friends would come around for a sleepover or like late night sessions, and you would go through games and you would play against each other. Well, this is a perfect candidate for that. I'm going to be using a resource today, vampire.net. A link to that will be in the description, because that site is just excellent. Vampire does a great job of keeping it updated with where the core has come, what's working. To be honest, it's easier to look at a list of games that aren't working for this core now. Now, while playing this game, I was desperately trying to do the super move. I could see my bars full up. It's glowing. I was doing like double fireballs, half circles. I was mashing all the buttons. I couldn't get it to come out, but at one point the computer does bust me up with its special, and you know what, it does look kind of good. And that's the one thing about fighting games. The supers, sorry, I said special, the supers just look so awesome. And while testing out the Nintendo 64 core, guys, I found the machine had some fighters on there. It wasn't known for fighting games, but it definitely had its fair share. Now, this game is a Japan exclusive as far as I know. I don't think it was out in any other regions. If it was, then please let me know. And before we get further into the video, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then hey, a subscription and a like is always super appreciated. There'll also be a link to my newly formed Discord in the description of the video. If you want to hang out there and say hi, then use that link and join the Discord. Anyway, guys, let's move over to the next game, because I think I won in the end, but the skeleton does take a round. Oh yeah, we're ready. So this is Cruising Exotica. This is a game that's been requested a few times, and at least the last time I tried it, it wasn't working. So this is definitely the first time I'm playing this. I've tried some of the other cruising games, and one thing that I am learning about the Nintendo 64, as well as having some fighters on there's actually racing games that I like, and I do like this. You get a choice of cars at the beginning, and I went with the police car. I don't know, there's just something about playing a police car, that kind of cops and robbers kind of feel. It just feels good. I don't know, maybe it's the kid inside me. Now, some of the later Need for Speed games, when you pick a police car, you've got a button for the sirens. In this one, you don't have a button for the sirens, but you do have a button for the horn. So going back to my earlier point of having a look at stuff that Vampire has posted on his site, so all credit due to him. And I just want to go through what is supported on this core to date. So supported is sound. The following file formats are supported: N64, Z64, V64 can be loaded. Up to 4 controllers are supported, auto, and also auto detection with help of a database. So Vampire's got a database that kind of, I think, loads up the optimal settings. It's something that I've put on there. I haven't looked much into it. It's just simple. You put it on there with all your games, and it just kind of loads up the settings. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It's just such an easy thing to drag and drop on there. I don't know the full workings of it, but either way, it's very, very helpful. The core also has texture filtering. It has EEPROM save, also has SRAM save. And then we've got basic RDP functions, the reality display processor, if I remember correctly. And then we've got exact analog out. And then we've got controller packs, which are selectable in the menu, as well as controller packs. We've got rumble packs, again selectable in the menu. We've also got PAL timing. So all the games I generally run are 60 Hz NTSC games. First choice is always USA, then maybe some Japan if there's exclusives, like the first game that you saw. And then there's some games that might be exclusive to PAL. That was my region. That's probably how I best know the game. So occasionally I run those too. We've also got dithering. Then we've got visual interface options, currently work in progress for some of the smaller functions. We've also got transfer pack support, not something that I ever used on an N64, but for all those guys that done their like Pokemon stuff, it's good that that is out there. CRT support is there, YC support is coming soon, and Snack is work in progress at the moment by a third party. Knockout Kings 2000. Okay, this works really, really well, and I have to say, guys, this game has actually, it's aged very, very nicely. I wasn't expecting it to look and play this good, even though my gameplay just sucks. I haven't played it for a while. I'm out of practice. I definitely associate this game with the PlayStation. I had this for the PlayStation 1, and at least when it first came out, we were playing a lot of sport games, multiplayer, me and my brothers. FIFA was a game we played. This was another game that we played, and this was a lot of fun. Before Fight Night came out, this was definitely a fun boxing simulation-ish, but still felt like an arcade game type of game. Now this works really, really well, and I just got knocked out. Okay, so going back to Vampir's site, he goes over some games that don't work, and the list of games he goes over, and I think there are some more games to this, but the ones listed on Vampir's site are Armorines, Conker's Bad Fur Day, FIFA Soccer 64, and we've got Gauntlet Legends. I know that's a game many of you guys ask for. I'm interested in trying that out as well. GoldenEye 007, something we're all waiting for. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Jeremy McCraft Supercross 2000. Monaco Grand Prix. NBA Jam. NFL Quarterback Club 99, Paper Mario, again another one people are looking forward to. Perfect Dark, the TLB version doesn't work. If you use the version where it bypasses the TLB check, that does work. I've run it on the channel before, so there is a patch version you can run, but the basic version of it, the normal version, doesn't work. And Robert the developer has said TLB support is something that's probably going to come as the last or one of the last things. Then we've got Shadow Man, South Park, Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo, Turok Rage Wars, and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. As well as that, currently cheats aren't working. Some RDP functions like YUV and LOD. And then we haven't got a real-time clock at the moment, and there's no Microsoft, I was going to say, there's no microphone support, but the core is coming along nicely. And this game here, by the way, is, I think it's called Pac-Man Maze Madness, or yeah, Maze Madness, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And this is quite an interesting little title. It's a different spin on it, but you can actually stop Pac-Man, or I can see like a ribbon there, maybe it's Miss Pac-Man, well, whatever, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, you can stop them in their tracks. You know, you don't have to just keep going. It's definitely a unique feel on it, and if you're a Pac-Man fan, you definitely want to check this out. And adding to the list of games that aren't working, the Castlevania games on the Nintendo 64 currently don't work. I do try them because, hey, if you know me, guys, you know I'm a Castlevania fan. Now, I know the ones on the Nintendo 64 aren't the greatest. I do have to try them. I am looking forward to these games actually working, because, you know, I want to check them out. Maybe I'll do like a dedicated video on them. More likely I'll do a live stream where I'm playing through them. But every now and again, there's a few games that I try, and Castlevania is one of them. But all I'm getting is a black screen. This game here is Hybrid Heaven. I know like a lot of people like this game on there, and I can kind of see why. Around the time you had like Metal Gear Solid, but it reminds me more of Siphon Filter, or even like a cross between Metal Gear Solid and Siphon Filter. I've kind of gone into this game, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I thought that was a door, but I'm like, it reminds me of a kid. When I took my kids when they were a lot younger, you know that little, in the park, you've got a little climbing frame? Well, that's what it reminded me of, him climbing that kind of frame. I didn't get very far with this game, pressing buttons, I'm lying down on the floor. I've got no idea why, but here I am trying to figure out the controls. I eventually speak to the guy there who gives me some kind of key card, but I just couldn't work out where to use the actual key card. But if this is a game you played growing up, it runs really, really well, and maybe you want to check it out on the call now. Okay, so this is Chopper Attack. Now, funny story with this game. So as I booted up this game, I think I was checking something on my phone, or maybe I was checking like a Discord, but I was definitely distracted. And the gameplay I saw in the demo, guys, was so good, I didn't even need to play the game. This is the attract mode, and you know, it's really nice. There's some games that you play and you launch it, and all you get is a title screen, you get some credits, you don't get much action in the game. At least the attract mode on this made it look like an arcade game. You know, when you're playing it just runs some good parts of the game, and this game just, it looks good. I mean, as far as like air combat, or I guess it's more space combat, Rogue Squadron is my thing, but man, look how good this looks. Like, I never played this on the Nintendo 64. This honestly is the first time I've ever seen this game, or at least to the best of my memory. But man, I would have definitely liked this. Let me know down below if you actually played this game, because I'm definitely interested. I feel like this is a game me and my friends missed out on. Even my friend who had every single game on his little pirate device that he had for the N64, this is not a game I even tried out. But man, I really feel as if I missed out. It looks great. And the funny thing is, I didn't even play it for this video. The attract mode was just so good. I just ran with it.
Okay, everyone, now it's showtime.
It's showtime, guys. And one thing I love about going into games blind is this is Airboarders 64, guys. I had no idea. First I thought, okay, it's going to be like a snowboarding game. I'm going to go down a mountain. But hey, when I started it, I was on an obstacle course. Now, if you want to know how to play this game badly, then definitely do what I do. I'm generally... This has never been my genre. I've never been into games where you do tricks, maybe with the exception of Jet Set Radio. That's something that I really enjoyed on the Dreamcast. But when I saw other people playing it, I never had that maneuverability. I don't know, maybe it just never clicked. I tried the Tony Hawk's games, not for me. So this was like a stunt game. But again, it's amazing how well the core's running and how well most of the games work. I picked random games for this core. I mean, I kind of knew Castlevania wasn't going to work. I wanted to run it anyway because every so often I just do try it because it's nice to get surprised with this core. When there's an update, sometimes I'm not following onto the Discord. There's a lot of information to intake and it's difficult to keep up sometimes. So I go in there blind and I think, let me try stuff. And the best surprise I got was when one day randomly Rogue Squadron started working. The menus weren't there and I was thinking, okay, it's not going to work. But then it launched into game. I wanted to revisit the Spider-Man game, and the reason for that is this is one of the games I tried like earlier on, maybe on some of the streams, and it would kind of boot up and then the buildings were like black blocks if I remember correctly. Spider-Man might have been like a black shape himself. We kind of looked more like Venom, and at one point we got the intro and the intro looked good and I was like, wow, we are getting Spider-Man for the N64. Who needs the PS5? Who needs Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 on PS4 and PS5? We've got Spider-Man on the N64. But after this part, as soon as Spider-Man kind of climbed up here and jumped up, it just locked up. Well, now it's running good. And previously we couldn't see Black Cat coming in and we couldn't see Spider-Man get a semi looking at Black Cat's booty.
Use your Spidey compass to get to the bank quickly.
And when you do decide to play this Spider-Man, now it is a fun game. I remember it being fun. Just remember, if you've been playing the recent Spider-Mans on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, it's going to feel very, very different to that. I know I don't need to say that, and you guys know that already. But yeah, it just feels different. I have been playing the original Spider-Man. I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. It's actually a very, very good game. I need to go back to it. I need to actually play a game all the way through. I kind of missed that since doing YouTube. The games I end up playing are just kind of quick fire games, you know, something I can just turn on for half hour and play rather than committing days and days to it. But man, Spider-Man's still as fun as ever, and I remember the combat in this game being fun, and honestly it still is. This game over here is known as Dual Heroes. Now I kind of know this is dual herpes, and the reason for that is when I was initially recording the video of the gameplay to do the voiceover later, there was a typo on my part. Instead of being called Dual Heroes, I replaced one of the letters by accident. So when I looked at it now, it said dual herpes. So not only is it single herpes, it's dual herpes. The best or worst kind of herpes. But that's it for this video, guys. Like I said, we started with a fighter, we finished with a fighter. The N64 does have some fighting games, surprisingly, and this kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, like some kind of Power Ranger battle kind of simulator. But guys, the N64 core is good. I'll leave links to Robert's Patreon in the description of the video. Do check it out if you want to support Robert, support his work. He's amazing, his work is amazing. Also link to Vampir's site, which I use as reference to look at everything that's happened to the core so far, as well as a list of games that aren't currently working, because honestly it's easier to look at a list of games that aren't working because that's smaller, and if you were to look at a list of games that are working. So it's coming along nice. Can't wait for stuff like Castlevania to start working, TLB support, so we can get stuff like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye running. I know GoldenEye is a big one. That was one of my favorite games, as well as that stuff like Conker's Bad Fur Day. But that's really it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up, subscription, all that good stuff is super appreciated. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.